Hello everyone, welcome back to Smith Robotics. If you have seen my Instagram shorts or YouTube shorts, then you know what I'm making for this Halloween. Freddle from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. If you don't know what a Freddle is, basically they are smaller plush, I wouldn't really call it a plush, version of of Nightmare Freddy from the 4th game. And what they act is like a countdown timer of when you get jump scared by Freddy. They'll like one or two will appear on the bed, then you have to go over and shine your flashlight to get them away. Yeah, basically that's what they are. I decided since it is Halloween, I am going to make a real life version of it. Why not? Especially when my project wasn't really going anywhere and I needed a break from that. Now you're probably thinking, how am I going to make this impossible animatronic? Well, the answer is because I can, and so, yeah. So if you want to know how to make your own, then listen up, basically. The first thing that I did to start making the Freddle was I started looking for real life objects and figuring out the size of the animatronic by basically pulling the pictures of it from the games and everything. Sometimes even looking for what other people have said, like, oh, it's this height. So basically I try and get the heights and everything like that, and then I write them down. After I started getting the heights down and designing the animatronic, well, I can't really design it, it's already been designed, but then I start modelling it by pulling up pictures and that from the internet, basically, and placing them into Blender and that, all the different angles and everything like that. After I start modelling the outer shell of the Freddle, I start looking at the endoskeleton and thinking, how is this going to move? So I start designing mechanisms and look at mechanisms on the internet to see how other people have made their robots / animatronics move. So to start off with, for the arms and torso, I took inspiration from DL Electronics and Mechanics, but I'll leave their video below to go into more detail about the mechanisms and everything. The head I looked at on the internet for different bits and that, for the neck and everything. And for the legs, I'm experimenting at the moment right now. They're not really going to be definitely like, oh, this will move or anything, so it's in the testing stage. The eyes as well, I took inspiration from Deregular Source, which everyone's going to be known right now in the Five Nights at Freddy's community. He's the one who made the full-size real cosplay of Glam Rock Freddy, which I think is actually really good as well. Like, it's very super realistic. So basically, I took inspiration from him. I'll leave his video down below, which is basically just like the people at the front of the eyes and everything like that. How he used Christmas baubles and that, like clear plastic and that. But apart from that, on the back part of the eye, it was my design and everything like that, which I had made. I'm currently also experimenting with different eye mechanisms, like so, with opening and closing the eyes with eyelids and everything, so if I get that done, I'll make a separate video of that in the future. Then after that, I start designing the endo body on Tinkercad, which is a free software to download. Also, Blender's also free to download if anyone's interested in making their own models. I start by making the head and body, then put the mechanisms which I found or designed onto the model. The original model won't look the same as it was because I have to put the mechanisms and I have to at least sacrifice some stuff to make it work, basically, as you can see in the video. After I've modelled everything and that, it's still in the current stage where like everything needs 3D printed out. So after I've done that, I 3D print all the stuff out, At the moment, the endo head is the only thing that's actually finished printed. So in the next few weeks, hopefully it should all be done. I've started to also print out the outer shells of the Freddle head. So basically what you see in the outside and not the endo head. But right now, as I'm recording, I'm 3D printing out the top part of the endo torso. So like it'll be the shoulders, the base and the neck and everything like that. Now, with the electronics, I use servo motors and micro servo motors to get the animatronic moving. But I also use an Arduino. It's also being used at the moment. I'm not 100% sure as I'm writing this that if I'm going to be using the software Botango, which I'll also leave in the description below, and that it's a free software I use, which people use for like animatronic movements and robotic movements. So I don't know if I'll be doing that or if I'll be making my own code and that in the Arduino software. So I'm trying to test that out at the moment. The reason is because I need other things to happen in it as well, because I want a speaker to be put in it, I want a light sensors to be put in the eyes as well, so if a torch shines at it, it completely stops. I know that it's not really for this animatronic, but I could possibly put that in as well for a plush trap if I'm going to be making that in the future. But Botango is a software that can be used for robots and animatronics, which I use to test my animatronics. For example, as you can see in my previous shorts, my YouTube shorts, that I've used it for the endo head as well. Twice, 3 times I think I have. I've also used it for arms as well, just to test those out and so far it's actually pretty good software and that, so I'd recommend people who love animatronics and that to go and see and test them out if they're like interested in making them. It's very good. As for this new project a whole, I feel like I've got more comfortable and used to making and also testing out new mechanisms and that, especially at a smaller scale for a robot animatronic as well, because when I was testing out the Endo 01 head, the original one for Freddy, I think it was just too big at the time, and it was a bit of a too big of a step leap and so I got a bit confused, so that's why I'm not 100% scrapping it, but I'm not going to go back to it for a while and that, so yeah. The Freddle basically it's just more comfortable to get myself to know more about the animatronics and everything. What I'll also do is I'll look on Five Nights at Freddy's VR and different games and that to see how the animatronics move as well, so I can put that in the coding and that, so yeah. And I think that will wrap it up for this video and that. I've changed how I do my videos now, so I'm not making everything up on the spot. I've actually wrote this down, but yeah. If anyone has any questions about this project or want to learn more, please put a comment below. If you like my content, then think about liking and subscribing. Thank you.